Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It's Tuesday night, so you already know it's time to get back into some Cobra Kai karate. What's up, Andy? How you doing this week?
I'm great. Well, I'm okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm okay.
Oh, don't let those fantasy football stingers come at you. Talk about that next Saturday. Got a new fantasy football stream up and running. But right tonight we are talking Cobra Kai, and this week was pretty cool. It started out with Robbie doing chores, cleaning the LaRusso lot, wax on, wax off, and I just kind of thought this was a little ridiculous, over the top cheese. Like anyone would ever raise a flag like that, just all ooh, 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 or get extra benefit from doing it that way. And like to jack up a car like that, you'd get like teased out of the showroom if you were trying to jack up a car like that. It was way too much to me. So by the time by the time we got to Danielson saying like, "Oh, I just love this part," I was ready to karate kick his face through the TV. I was definitely ready for my first Johnny scene after this opening. How about you?
Yeah, you already know how I feel about Daniel. So like, I'm with you on that. Like, but I think it's steering into the cheese. Like that's kind of the point. And then it's funny. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just making fun of like how you viewed it back in the day, right? Like you viewed it as like, as a kid, you think, oh yeah, I'd get mad at this too. I'm just doing work for him. Like he was supposed to be teaching me karate. Now you're like, what the hell? He's got a showroom, man. He's what? Like you're a car dealership. This don't even make any sense.
It was supposed to be that just hit home like, oh, I just love this part. It was just, I don't know. By the time they'd shown all that, I was ready to puke. I was puking in my mouth a little bit. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, but doesn't his wife like she's the view of the audience, right?
Exactly. She's perfect. Like you're enjoying this way too much. Yeah, she is exactly what we're thinking. Only I wasn't in love with Daniel thinking that. I was like, moron. Way too much. So I was definitely ready for my first Johnny scene, but nope. Next we get to see Robbie and Daniel in the dojo, and miraculously, Robbie has near perfect form right out of the gate. And I'm like, what is he? Some idiot savant? Like, is he just a natural? What's going on with
that? Genetics, man.
He comes out of the master and he's just that good right out of the gate. But luckily we didn't have to wait too much longer because did you just flinch, Virgin? And I'm like, yes, my man Johnny is back. And we got a room full of flinchers. Before you leave this dojo, each one of you is going to take a punch very hard to the face. And I'm almost crying. I'm like, as mad as they had me with that opening scene, they brought me right back with this one. How about you?
Yeah, that's great too. And as weird as it sounds, I'm not to say that I would have a bunch of kids get punched in the face, but I think there's some value in being punched in the face. Like you learn about being punched. It's not that bad. Like a lot of people are scared of being hit. It's not that bad. You getting hit. Your brain doesn't even register like the pain for the most part.
Yeah, more of a shock thing. And that's just kind of like with everything with Johnny. He's just so raw dog, just bare bone, like to the natural of everything. And you're like, oh, that's just awful until you actually think about it. And you're like, at the base of it, he's got like good points. He just goes about it terribly.
Very 80s, man.
Oh, man.
Just go for it.
He is the man, but just Johnny's pure gold, and I'm loving every minute of it. Miss Robinson, unflinch this group. I was like, holy shit. And that first kid's face was like, oh, this is going to suck, but I got to take it. Like, everything about that. Like, as bad as I hated the first scene, I loved everything about the second one. It was amazing.
And doesn't it teach him like a little level of courage? So think of the secondary factor of that. Speaking of the kid's face, not only do you teach them that getting hit in the face isn't so bad, they actually have to be willing to do it. They're volunteering themselves to be hit in the face without defending themselves. So now they're learning about a little bit of courage, right?
Exactly. Well, in life, that's going to get them. Exactly. That's a fear factor. And just one less thing. You're literally going to be braver in life after this. And that's what I'm talking about. Just the raw dog, just essence of what he's telling them is pretty pure. But It's so terrible the way it goes about it. It's awesome. Oh my God, what's the problem? She's hot and all those other things. I was just loving when he comes in. He's like, I got a problem about the girl. And she's like, she's smart. Is she hot? Is she she's funny? Is she hot? Is she nice? Is she hot? Yeah, she's hot. Well, then what's the problem? Like, and he's like, she's hot and all those other things. Like,
yeah,
Johnny's the greatest.
for sure.
I was crying. But then I kind of the one thing that did kind of get me was like, dude, she's hot and all those other things, and all the girls want to date a Cobra Kai. Like Cobra Kai's been around, or like any girls even know what Cobra Kai is at this point. Like, this is 30, 40 years later. It's like nobody knows about Cobra Kai. All the chicks want to date Cobra Kai. Not to mention that all your students are nerds. So I was like,
yeah. Well, doesn't it remind you of like, 80s parents where they like acting cool, or like they're trying to relate to their kids, right? Like your parents get you an Atari and they're like, everybody loves Nintendo. Like they don't know the difference. Doesn't it seem like that type of thing? Like, I got you a Nintendo.
Oh man, a little bit, but yeah, it's just like, yeah, living in the past is what I think the main thing of that is. He's like showing how much Johnny is just still right there stuck in the 80s. But in the scene, we hear Hawk get punched and hit the ground, and we hear Miss Robinson. She's all, he's okay. And then he's like, yeah, I'm okay. It's just a tooth. And I'm like, that was such a little line. I'm like, Hawk may end up being Johnny's #1 student after all this. He seems like he's all in on the Johnny teachings.
He is. Like, he's crazy. I like, as it goes on, whenever he does something cool, you hear like the scream of the Hawk. Ah! That's going to happen.
I was like, I didn't even got that. That's awesome. Every time he starts doing something sick, he's going to get a little bird call.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, man, that's awesome. But yeah, it seems like, he is definitely all in, and we're going to talk more about that. But it seems like the Hawkman is definitely like the new Johnny to me. Almost more than Miguel, but we'll see where that goes. Next, we have the bullies visiting Robbie on his lunch break, and I just can't get over how much that one looks like Chris Brown. Like, I literally keep waiting for him to like bust out singing Chris Brown's body, like all Little Dicky style. Dude. I'm telling you, it's killing me, dude. I'm like, dude, Chris Brown is in the show. It's awesome. But they threaten Robbie, and he feels trapped to kind of do it. And we know Robbie likes working for Daniel and that he's like 10 times smarter than these jacknuts. So are we pretty sure by now that Robbie's going to find a way to get rid of these losers?
Oh, yeah, probably. Right? You overlooked the most important part of this scene. The other guy no longer has a mustache.
Oh, you're right. That's right. I did not. That's sweet. Johnny got to him too.
Yeah. That's a bit.
Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't connect that one. That's awesome. You're right. Just not looking at that loser. You can tell he's the one that's not really in on Robbie anymore. He's got suspicions. You can tell Robbie's not part of the clique so much anymore. But yeah, you can tell he's listening. He's intuitive, and definitely took some of that Johnny advice, which somehow in the end always seems to make it a little bit better. So over to high school, and awkward Miguel stuttering through trying to ask Sam on a date, and she's like, with everything that's been happening, she's just not ready to start dating yet. And here we see Johnny's lessons coming to fruition again. Like, as raw as he is, it just always seems he knows how to get her done.
Yep.
Listen to Johnny, dude, and you're gonna get it. And he's like, at first she said no, and he was walking away, but then Johnny ran through his head. He's like, don't take no for an answer. And he was perfect. He's like, dude, no doesn't mean no. And Miguel's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. And he's like, well, physical, yeah, but not if you're just asking her out on a date. Like, he totally breaks it down perfectly.
Dude, that's the funniest thing is personal part, or like to me personally, this is how like me and my wife got on a date. Like almost the exact same way. Right? And she was like, nah. And then I was like, we can go on a non-date. We just hang out. And that's like what it was.
Hey, note to everybody out there listening, having a problem getting the girls, sometimes you just got to go for that second effort, think outside the box. Oh, that's amazing. So Miguel doesn't take no for an answer, and lo and behold, he lands himself a non-date date. Johnny knows. So next we see Robbie truly does have a pretty good criminal mind. As the hoods say, he always figures something out. And he kind of looks like he's cracking and going to do it, but in the back of her mind, we're like, he's got to have maybe a secondary plan, huh? Or did you think maybe he's going to just fold?
No. We're getting the balance part of it, right? That like Johnny is good for like the nerdy kids, but maybe Daniel's good for the overly aggressive kids. Like almost like what would have happened if Johnny would have found Mr. Miyagi first.
Wow, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Like, how cool would that have been? What's up, Kristen Coles? I see you out there. Welcome, welcome. Jake Cruz holding it down out there, doing the Cobra Kai Tuesday, 6:30 every Tuesday. And it looks like this is going to break down perfect. I was just kind of working it out. It looked maybe season 2, we might go back to just doing one episode at a time. And if we do that, we'll do these 2. We'll knock out 9 and 10 next week, and then just do one at a time. And we will literally run right into freaking season 3 on point. I think that'll be exciting. So, yeah, that'll be perfect. We'll just run it right through, do one at a time for season 2. And then, yeah, we will literally be starting like the next week on season 3 when they air it. So that'll be dope. What's up, Peter Griffin? I see you out there. Welcome back. Welcome back. So we get back over to Johnny making a call, and he's trying to get Cobra Kai entered into the upcoming tournament. Cobra, like the badass snake. And I'm just, everything Johnny says, like literally everything that comes out of this guy's mouth is just pure gold, dude. I love it. But meanwhile, Miguel's out there looking for dating advice from 2 of the biggest social misfits that have never been on a date. And it's just like, I mean, I guess old girl does have some insight on Sam, but I mean, are those the 2 people you're really going to go looking for dating advice from?
Yeah, definitely not. No. I'd be going back to Johnny for sure. That seemed to work out.
Everything he said is turned up roses, so hell yeah, I'm going back to Johnny. Like Sensei Johnny knows. But Hawk does offer an idea, and how about tattoos? I know a guy, and how sick was the Hawk that Hawk got put on his back? I'm like, dude, you're so little and small, that thing's going to be so distorted when you grow up. That's what I thought.
Dude, it was great. I was like, what the hell? It has the mohawk on it and everything.
Oh, it was beautiful, dude. He's like 14 hours in the chair. I was like, holy shit, dude. Like I said, Hawk is all in on the Johnny idioms. Oh, man. But 14 hours in the chair, like I said, Hawk's all in, and you got to flip the script, Johnny knowledge. So then you hear banned, and Johnny's like out of Cobra Kai. They find out that Cobra Kai has a lifetime ban from tournaments. And he's like, that's not fair. You got to fight this. And Miguel reminds Johnny of his own advice. So it's kind of cool when we saw Miguel kind of flipping the script and using Johnny's own words like to pump him up. That was pretty tight.
Yeah. It's like, it's good. I'm telling you, Miguel's sometimes the adult. Right? Most of the time he's the adult. He's helping Johnny. But Johnny knows that too. Like he admitted it. He said, he's the only one that's never given up on me. Like Miguel's the only one that's never given up on Johnny. So
exactly. And he also said that like he's learning as much from these kids as that he's teaching them. So I mean, yeah, he's absolutely open and learning, and that's what you got to love about it. You know, he's growing as a person, as a human being from the inside.
Yeah.
Because yeah, Johnny's like, I'm gonna go beat their asses, and Miguel's like, maybe there's a smarter way to go about it. Like, so yeah, like, Miguel does seem to be the adult in quite a few of the instances, which is pretty awesome. So next we see Daniels let Robbie get to third base. He's all up in the trees, and I thought that was a pretty weird analogy, seeing how they almost kissed when they bowed to each other earlier in the show. Like they were like head to head when they did that bow at the beginning, and we're going to talk more about that and here in another scene coming up. But Daniel gives a quick life lesson of his own, telling Robbie that he is the tree and his future is what he makes of it. Robbie then gets a call from his soon-to-be old crew, and do you think after all this that Robbie actually would rob Daniel? Like when he got that call, did you think like even after all this, Robbie might go to Daniel or rob Daniel just to keep those guys happy? Or by now we're just 100% he's in with Daniel? Because he almost told him when he was out in the woods, he's like, I have something to tell you. And then he just cracked him. Thanks. You think Daniel knows that that's not what he was going to say?
Yeah, for sure.
He knows there's something deeper going on?
Yeah, but That's his. I think Daniel's aware that's kind of his business. If he wants to tell him, he'll tell him. But yeah, I was 100%. He wasn't going to actually, steal the car.
He's over these guys by now. And I mean, that was the one thing. Like, he wasn't talking about stealing a car, maybe just some rims and radios, but still, even though it's smaller, it's like, I mean, these people are being good to Robbie. He's not about to screw them over. It's like the first good thing that seems like it's ever happened in his life, really.
Yeah.
So we're back over to Miguel giving Johnny some last-minute advice of his own, and thank goodness he did, because it seems like Johnny was still ready to just go knock all those people out if he didn't get his way. And if that's really his way of dealing with things, like, how is he not in jail by now? I was like, dude, Johnny would totally be, if that's all he does is just kick everybody's ass, he'd be in jail right now. What's in the briefcase? Found it in the dumpster.
I'm going to spoil something for you. It's not that big of a deal. He has been to jail because at some point Hawk's like, there's a conversation where they're going to talk about something. And he's like, is this about Sensei's criminal record? Because
Hawk already makes about it?
Do what? Do what? You're muted. But he says, I think it makes him more badass. So he has been to jail. It doesn't say what for, I don't think, but Johnny has been to jail.
Sorry about that. Quick technical difficulties. But yeah, so if he's going to jail, that makes a lot of sense, because that's the first thing I was thinking. I was like, dude, if Johnny just deals with everything by punching it, there's no way he's not spending half his life in jail.
Which and he's beat up kids.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. And maybe that's one of the reasons why he wasn't with Robbie. He's been so, far apart from Robbie. Maybe he got put in jail right away. Like, he just told his girl that he was out, and then maybe he was going to be on his way back, but we find out he did something and went to jail or something.
Maybe. I think you're giving him too much credit.
It's looking a little too far into it. We tend to do that sometimes. But how about you? You nervous for your date? Yep. Nothing to be nervous about. Just be cool. Okay, this kid's never been cool a day in his life. So I don't know what he was talking about with that. But then when it's time to make your move, what move? I don't have any move. And you're just like, just thinking back, like when you were a little kid going on your first date and how nervous you'd be, like, I was just cracking up about all that. It's like, Miguel, come on. He is a nerd going on a date, so you got to feel for the kid.
Yeah, true. But his girlfriend's pretty hot, or his date's pretty hot, I guess.
Yeah, can't be mad at that. Yeah, for a first time, he scored big, so hey, nothing wrong with that. Come on, man, you got to kiss the girl. I don't have to, right? No, you could just, learn to braid her hair and talk about all the other guys that had the balls to kiss her on the first date. And I was like, how great is Johnny?
Yeah, like, come on. Like, he's kind of teaching him, don't set your bar low, right? You're going to, whatever you aim for, that's what you're going to be hitting. Or you miss, but at least you get close, right?
Exactly.
James said if you set your bar real low and you don't hit it, then you're close, like, to bullshit. Like, you're a close friend. You don't want to be that.
Jay Cruz probably said he's even been in jail for unpaid parking tickets, traffic tickets. Oh, I'm sure there's been a few things in the world of Johnny. There's definitely been some hardships around the way. He didn't get that way doing nothing, that's for sure. Especially since he grew up rich. I mean, he had all the advantages of life and still found a way to just end up where he did. So, yeah, I mean, maybe they're going to touch a little bit more on that as we get along. So where are you going anyway? The only part of that made any sense was three-way. And, I mean, yeah, just more Johnny Gold had me cracking up. Then he gives him what he considers to be a much better date. Gives him a much better date place to go because he was just going to go to the astronomy and look at the stars, which she probably would have loved since old girl said she's totally into that. But, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a little more in her nerd days. So, and she ends up saying, that was pretty great. And, of course, Johnny did have it right. Like, turns out some things never change. And it was good to see, that the old Golf and Stuff Family Fun Center still is the place to go on a date. How cool is that for the nostalgia part for you?
I thought it was pretty cool, but I would have preferred like the star thing, right? Like, I mean, if we're being honest, it's a show, so they went with the golf and stuff, but I don't know. I think the better idea would have probably been the chocolate and stars or whatever. Like that would have been better.
I mean, that's what old girl said she liked, but again, that's a girl trying to get her to go as Saul to a Halloween party when she's kind of moved on to being a Laker girl. So I don't know if she would have liked that as much. I think it was kind of perfect going to the golf and stuff, and she seemed to like it as well. And it seemed like it turned out all right. But
yeah.
So again, the show's come full circle with the next generation following in the steps of their elders, and it was good to see that the old hockey game was still functioning. And it was just, it was funny to see them doing all the same stuff that Daniel and Allie were doing back on their date. I was like, I love how this show ties everything in. It's pretty sweet.
Leaning into it.
What's that?
They're steering into it. They're leaning into the nostalgia.
Oh, hard. And how great was it to see that big cheesy smile on the Fun Center employee after giving Sam her octopus? Like, seems like she recognized and is just kind of lives for seeing those first moments of puppy love happen right before her eyes. Did you notice that big old cheesy smile on that chick?
Yeah.
Oh, it was like bad acting, but then I just kind of put it into context. I was like, you know what? Maybe she's just kind of the person that just likes seeing puppy love happen.
There you go.
So into the tournament committee meeting, and Johnny asked to be reinstated, and lo and behold, guess who else is on the board? Daniel shows up, and we know things are just about to get a lot harder for Johnny Boy.
Yep. Daniel's a jerk. And, this show, I don't know if they have, any idea how business is, operated. But I don't think you can just ban a dojo with the same name. It's probably not under the same business license, so how would that? I don't even understand that.
Exactly. But it was pretty funny that that was pretty funny how they go, like, do we even have the power to ban somebody? Like, that board was just clueless and just epic. And you could tell how it was going to go. The brother man, badass name, he was going to be on Johnny's side, and the girl kind of thought he was cute, so he figured she was going to be on Johnny's side. Yep. The one dude with the beard seemed all in on it. So, yeah, I mean, you could kind of see how that was going to go anyway, but that was pretty awesome how that broke down.
I just feel like it makes Daniel more of a jerk. Like, why are you so bitter, man?
Yeah, that's what that scene's designed for, is to show us again just how big of a dick he kind of is. But back out to the car lot, and the goon squad is there waiting for Robbie, and he shows, but something is amiss. He won't let him in. They try to hit him, but Daniel's training kicks in. Robbie truly is a natural. Did you think that was a little bit much, that he was that good right out of the gate?
Yes. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was ridiculous in the woods. I was like, come on, man. He just all of a sudden can – do something that everybody been training months for. He's just like, a couple weeks, got it.
He did say about the balance thing, I balance on my board all day long. So, he is somewhat of an athlete. So, I get that part. But, yeah, just to be able to do the perfect kicks and spins and balance. And, dude, that one guy went to punch him, and he was just instantly wax on works. I was like, that was a bit much. I was like, he shouldn't be that good that fast. But maybe he's just the good.
It's kind of reflective of the scene where Daniel catches the fly with the chopsticks.
But wasn't that more like just beginner's luck type stuff? Robbie's doing everything right.
Yeah, hey, Daniel had the skill to do it. Imagine just picking up chopsticks and catching a fly. I'm going to start trying. I'm going to let a fly loose in here, and the whole stream, I'm just going to try to catch it.
Just catching it with chopsticks the whole time. Just keep the attention going.
And if I catch it, I'll be like, all right, you're right. That wasn't that hard, but I couldn't do all the stuff that Robbie was doing.
Oh, it was just a bit much. Like I said, just a little ridiculous for Robbie to be that good already. Or they're really trying to show him as the total natural. Maybe they are just trying to get to the point that he's just this savant and just literally just naturally that gifted. He totally held his own against the two bigger kids, and just when you think he's caught himself into a corner, he shows he had a better plan all along. Hello, Mr. Camera. So it shows that he's got the smarts as well as the brawn. So,
yeah, he's for sure Gary Stu. He's definitely a Gary Stu.
I don't know Gary Stu.
Oh, you know what a Mary Sue is?
Oh, okay.
The male version of that is a Gary Stu.
I never heard that. That's awesome. So back to our non-date date, and it's going swimmingly. And Miguel's actually smoother than he has any right to be. Speaking of naturals, it seems like he's getting along being on this first date and hanging out with girls pretty good for never doing it.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, when Sam grabbed his arm to put her around in the photo booth, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get some first kiss action," but nope, he let that slip away.
And like how he looks at her, it's like it's about to happen, and then it doesn't, right? If you look
at a girl grabs your arm and puts it around her in the photo booth, it's smoochy time, right?
Hell yeah.
Oh, I love how back at the committee meeting, they're like suddenly had pictures and an entire folder. And like the last scene, they had no idea who he was or that they even had the power to ban somebody. Now they've got like files on Cobra Kai. I was like, how do we get here?
Yeah, Daniel, he knew.
He just brought him in from the car. Like when he came in, he wasn't holding anything. But he's like, hold up, I got something to show you.
Yeah.
I was like, come on. Oh, I don't want to wait years until we get decent action scenes. Oh, man.
Yeah, everything you'll find out in next week. We'll talk about it, but everything in this show moves incredibly fast. So,
yeah, okay. And that's probably why Robbie's so good so fast.
So maybe he's been working there for 2 years now. We don't know. No, I'm just, maybe a couple months. We don't know, really.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still a young kid. I mean, and like, what's up? Is he just like, so he's just really quit high school and like high school is a thing of the past? Like, so that's something maybe Daniel's going to have to talk him into is going back to school. That's going to be like an arc later on.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, he quit school. Remember, he said mom's cool with it. So.
Right. And Johnny told him to go back. But I mean, so yeah, I thought maybe it might go back. But yeah, it sounds like nope. He's really quit school and just lied to Daniel and said he's older than he is and just taking a year off, and that's what that is. Karate Kid 3 explains some of why Cobra Kai gets banned. I'm sure it's pretty much what we're already thinking, just how bad he was to the kids and how he cheated and kind of, Johnny said he used to skate the rules. So I'm sure it mainly had to do with most of that. But yeah, I got to rewatch Karate Kid 3. I don't remember that one. I just remember not loving it. So
I hardly know anything about it. Daniel joins Cobra Kai.
He does?
Yeah, that's what happens in it. Because
I don't remember
Mr. Miyagi doesn't like tournaments. The only reason Mr. Miyagi let Daniel do a tournament was because he it was for his honor, right? To have Daniel stop getting his butt kicked, and so that like Johnny and them will respect him. So when Daniel wants to do a tournament again, Mr. Miyagi's like, no, like that's not what this is about. So then he joins Cobra Kai. Wow. So that's all I really know about it. Also, it has something to do with a guy named Silver. Like
I don't remember that at all. I just remember he was all old and fat and like had no business calling himself a kid anymore. He's like, I'm a kid, nothing. It's like karate old and out of shape, maybe. But yeah, and didn't he like try to make his own dojo or might start his own thing or something? Like, yeah, I don't remember. I gotta rewatch it. I just remember I thought it was garbage back in the day. Maybe it'd be great now if it's all nice and cheesy. I might love it.
Yeah.
So Johnny gets up and gives a little speech, and at first I think even he was just going to try to BS his way through it. But as he was talking, his own words kind of struck home even with himself. And like they certainly plucked at the heartstrings of the committee. So no matter how much salt Daniel was trying to throw, like that doesn't sound at all like the Cobra Kai to me.
Yeah.
That was pretty great, dude. These actors are awesome. And dude, again, the brother man, like, that's a badass name for a dojo, by the way. And Johnny gives a sick little fist pump. I was like, every scene with Johnny is just gold.
Dude, that guy's hilarious all around. He's talking about, we need to do blue floors, blue mats with gold fists. Like that. The whole thing's funny. That guy's funny all around. He's kind of like the grandma character.
Oh, dude, the comic relief. Oh, dude, we're going to talk about some more Yaya, too. I love me some Yaya. One of the greatest characters in here. But this was another great look at how bad Daniel is scarred, and Johnny was able to play like the perfect citizen, while Daniel just looked like a crazed revenge, like harboring psycho. Like, yeah, it put Johnny in a great light and just made Daniel just basically look like an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, again, that's kind of where we're at. So now it's time for some teen karate flirting. And I got to say, Sensei Sam is still totally legit for somebody who supposedly hasn't trained in the last 8 years. I said something about that on the last, stream a couple times back. Like, how is she so badass for not doing any training in the last 8 years?
I don't know. It's just natural. How can Daniel still do anything? He hasn't done it either in so long. Well, I mean, he really can't. That's that's the downfall for the show for me. Is like the kids are actually way better at karate than the adults are. Like if you look at their stances, like Daniel's all stiff and stuff. Like when he's doing it, you can tell he's just kind of older and out of shape in that way. The kids are like actually loose and like they can do karate. Anytime they do a scene where like Daniel or Johnny are doing karate, I'm like, they're way too stiff. I can't take it seriously.
I don't know though. Daniel's got moves. The one hand handstand, getting ready to trying to move double kick. That's gonna come back in. You're not gonna put that smoking gun out there and not have it play a part.
Yeah. Off gun or whatever it's called.
Smirnoff's gun, I think. Smirnoff's gun or
I think it's actually Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov's gun. Chekhov's gun. Yeah, Chekhov's gun. You're right. But yeah, that's definitely got to come back into play. But yeah, Daniel, I mean, he's not that out of shape out there standing on one arm on a tree.
Yeah, but that was done on ropes. I'm actually talking about the karate scenes where
yeah, definitely. And Johnny gets it too. But time for some kissy, and Sam says this is the best date ever. And Miguel, not knowing when to keep his mouth closed, just reminds her that actually this isn't a date. She's like, yeah, not a date, and then finds her own way to shut him up, and that wasn't a kiss. Like, he finally got there. I mean, he tried to mess it up, but he finally gets his first kiss in.
That's why it was so much like. This is why it reminds me so much of me and my wife's first date, is because like we kissed at the end. She said, "Okay, I guess it was a date." Like, see, it was a date. So when that happened, like. Me and my wife looked at each other because it was like a little special moment. Like, together. Oh, right in the feels.
Nostalgia on and off the screen. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, this was inevitable, but it's definitely going to be a problem. I mean, there's no way that this is just going to be a nice, peaceful, fun-loving relationship, not with the situation around it. That look on Miguel's face after he got his first kiss, I thought he was going to bust and cream of G. I mean, I thought he was going to bust. And he probably did, but he did. Like, he looked like he was in total euphoria. Oh, my man got his first kiss and was just walking on clouds. Back to the committee meeting, and Daniel comes out with congratulations, and Johnny looks like Cobra Kai got the green light. I mean, we knew this had to happen, but Danny boy didn't seem too happy about it.
Yeah.
That's kind of great. Yeah. They saw that he was a dick and said no.
Mm-hmm.
So back at the dojo, and a very giddy Miguel comes bursting in yelling, "Who's the man?" And I love how it's always about Johnny. He's like, "I'm the man." But as we've been seeing, he is growing and, instantly recognizes the situation. He's like, "Oh, shit, are you the man too? Tell me you're the man." So it's like just everything about Johnny, seeing him grow is pretty cool, I think. Like we're getting to see his whole character arc kind of grow as a person. And I mean, just something that small, like he comes in, it's always about him. He's like, "I'm the man." Like, and then, instantly he's like, "Oh, wait a minute. This could maybe not be all about me." I thought that was pretty cool. They did that.
Yeah, because they're growing together, like father-son type thing. That's what made Robbie so mad.
I know, he saw that all in one hug, which is, I mean, obviously that's going to come back to play a part. Miguel crushed his date, and Johnny crushed the committee meeting, so this calls for a toast. A real toast? I mean, I love how Johnny just goes for the Scotch right after the date, like, a real toast for real men. I'm like, this kid doesn't even drive. I'm like, He's all drinking, it'll put hair on your balls. He's like, is that a good thing? I mean, dude, everything about this is just like, what the hell?
That's funny because my grandpa used to always say shit like that. Like, yep, just to put hair on your chest. Like, he'd have like chewing tobacco and shit. Here, have some of this. He'll put hair on your chest. Like, I don't want hair on my chest.
Exactly. You're a little kid like that. You're thinking that's gross. You don't want anything to do with that. And that's just, yeah, I was cool about that. And that's how it was so great how they ended it. I mean, I just love how they ended it panning in on the under 18 karate tournament, reminding us that Johnny's here getting drunk with a high schooler.
Yeah.
Oh, it was pretty great. I mean, yeah, for that show, I mean, it started out, it had me a little irritated, but they brought it full circle, and I ended up loving this episode. How about you?
Yeah. Oh man, I love the whole first season, top notch.
Yeah, they're sucking me in more and more every week, and I have even a couple buddies that got watching it now, and of course they're all binged through. They're like, "How have you not just binged this thing?" I'm like, "Man, doing this thing, doing the pod is like gotta go week by week."
Sucker.
What's that?
You're a sucker.
Oh, I mean, it keeps me being able to guess stuff and seeing if I become right or not or whatever. So when I'm talking about it, I actually have no idea. I mean, season 8 that we're getting, or episode 8 that we're getting ready to talk about, that's the farthest I am. I haven't seen any farther. So I actually saw the first 5 minutes of episode 9, which is awesome. But yeah, I turned it off and I was like, this is going to be too good. I'm going to wait till next week. Oh, but this one, season 1, episode 8, this one's called Molting, and this week opens up with our man Johnny pounding a Coors in a junkyard, and it seems like he has a new idea for training. And I just love how, like, he just, like, when he's doing the training, he says, don't fall in, the shards are sharp metal, but yet he still has him doing it. I'm like, this part is just so wrong, but just so pure Johnny.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's the best stuff. It's so 80s, like 80s training montage. It's just great. The dog's coming in and Hawk not being able to climb up on the thing. Oh, it's great.
Jake Cruz said he couldn't hold himself back either. Watch both seasons the days they came out on YouTube. He's like just sat in and binged the entire season. Huh? That makes for a long day. That's awesome. But they end up forgetting it. What's that?
I think Jake, way back when we were doing like Westworld stuff, he was saying you need to watch Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
I had it pulled it up one time and I never watched it.
Yeah, he's been pumping that one for a while. That's awesome. He's like, are you hungry? Well, so are they, and blows dog whistle. And it looks like Johnny's taking this All Valley tournament pretty seriously. I mean, he's about to get these kids killed.
Real trained dogs. That's cracking me up.
Dude, running from hungry junkyard dogs is like, that's a bit over the top. But
and he gave him beef jerky first.
So he chased him. Yeah, that was pretty great. But next we get an old blast from the past, and Mama San's at the door, and OG Daniel's mom makes an appearance. I thought that was pretty cool, bringing her back.
Yep. I'm telling you, they're getting everybody.
I know, that's what I was just thinking, and then I started thinking once you saw that, then I was like, are they going to bring Ali Sheedy or Elizabeth Shue back? Allie is what I'm saying. Her name was Allie in the show, but that would be awesome. Like she's a huge star, and at first you probably couldn't afford her, but now she's not really doing anything. So, and this is like the #1 show on Netflix, so it's kind of like a win-win for both of them. Kind of keep her name relevant and bring her back. So,
yeah, that would be cool for sure.
I could definitely see that happening. So, I mean, it seems like the timing is just perfect. So that'd be kind of great. And they said they're filming season 4, so even if she doesn't make it 3, she's got to be in it by 4. So the fam is taking a trip down memory lane, and the memories of Cobra Kai are not good. Sam says they can't all be bad, can they? And we already know trouble's going to be a brewing in the puppy love land. This is our first sight of what's going to happen.
Yep.
It can't be good. Seems mom's like a total mother-in-law and instantly starts in on how she had it so much harder but still came home and cooked all their meals from scratch. And it's like, dude, I was like, we're starting to see why Daniel's such a dick. Mom's a biatch.
Yeah, for real.
Dude, is that what you guys like? What was your wife thinking when you guys were watching that scene?
She was kind of a jerk. My wife works too. The thing is people try to be too respectful with their in-laws. Like the wife was trying to be like somewhat respectful. If it was me, I would have said, I make a shit ton of money and I don't have to do that. You were broke. No, I'm not. So whatever. Like my job, I work 12 hours a day, or even if I work 8, but I just made like $6,000 in that 8 hours. So I don't have to do that bullshit. What's the point of money?
Exactly. And even catering, it's not like you just open the door and let the caterers in. You still have to decide what everything's going to happen. You still have to plan. You still have to figure out what they're going to be making and bringing, and all the chairs are there and everything's being done right. I mean, it's not like you just open your door and sit down and everybody does the work. Like hosting a party is hosting a party, and the mom's acting like she just does nothing. And she's like, and she broke it down like, we do Christmas, we do Easter, we do birthdays, and the mom's just like, oh, please. I was like, that set me off. I was like, oh my God, this is why Daniel's such an asshole. He's like a man mom.
Yeah. Man, the worst. The
absolute worst. So back over to the dojo, and Johnny finds out Miguel is dating a LaRusso. We need to talk. And how great was it to hear the story from Johnny's POV? That was awesome. And in a way, it made total sense. I hadn't heard from this kid in weeks, and then all of a sudden he just out of nowhere dumps water on my head for no reason. I was like, and if you think back, it kind of did play that way. So hearing his side was amazing.
He did. Like that's the thing too. It's like I'm just sitting there trying to roll a joint, get water all over my head. Like he started it. He for sure did.
He ruined our night. And he's like, dude, he was down there. I went down to try to, just nice and calmly go talk to my woman, try to work things out. And out of nowhere, this guy sucker punches me. And they show that. I'm like, dude, that's exactly what happened from his point of view. Like, he just went down and was talking to Allie. He wasn't doing it just as peacefully as he was talking about. Like, he snatched her radio and stuff while she's screaming.
He did kind of push it into Daniel, but he didn't, go hitting Daniel. He would sidestep him and trip him as Daniel was trying to attack Johnny. Like that's what happened on that beach scene.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's all about perspective, and girls make you do dumb things. Like sure, Johnny was aggressive, but him and Allie just broke up at that point because when they're talking later, she says, "We've been broke up for weeks, right?" Weeks. Yeah. How many weeks? If you say it's less than a month, right? Or else you'd say a month.
Right. Exactly.
Says,
And teenage hormones and puppy love and the hormones raging. He's not over that. Like he was in love, dude. She was beautiful. Like he had a shitty home life. Like that was probably his outlet. So she was probably literally his everything and got it all taken away. I mean, we already saw that Johnny was actually a social misfit back in the day. Like he only had these guys because of being in Cobra Kai and being the best that there was. So like when it came down to like true feelings, Allie was his everything. And then this new punk just comes in and tries stealing her away. Of course it's going to go down like that. So, yeah, I thought that was amazing seeing it from his side.
Yep.
I like the throwing the milk duds part, too, like, and how that kind of comes into play later. Like, when he's telling him about the throwing the milk duds story. Alpha moves. You got to just love the Johnny knowledge. And it was cool to find out that it was all that gave Johnny – or that it was Allie that gave Johnny the black headband, which kind of made that Broham scene in the park a lot more gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like, you think he's just being a nerd going old school, and like, that thing actually had a lot of meaning to him, and these dickheads are like he was an idiot, but yeah,
it's still great. Yeah, Broham.
Well, we were just going to go over and talk to him, but yeah, maybe learning karate in the park from a total stranger might work, Broham. Or nice headband, Broham. Dude, yeah, that was gold. Nowhere near the dumbest thing I've ever done to her. You're not the only one, Jay. We've all been idiots around women at some point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, that one got me. But back over to the barbecue and trip down memory lane, and Mr. Miyagi was so good to us. but you know who's not good to us, and that lame-ass Worthland is cousin of yours. Like, what did I tell you about using my name to make deals? And just seeing how they're just bagging on Louis right in front of him, like, that was amazing.
He deserves it, though.
Oh, like, every bit of it.
Oh, man. He's terrible. And I don't know. Do you have any cousins like that like, just straight moochers?
No, I'd crush them. I'd snip them off. Yeah, I was like, you take care of family, but dude, that's like, yeah, if you're that much of an idiot, dude, you just got to learn the hard way because that's too much. And we see it really is too much. But the family erupts over family business, and here we see where Daniel gets his assholeness. And like we were just talking about, the mom had a lot of nerve talking about, oh, host, please, it's easy to host when you have everything catered. Like, no, it's not easy, and you're a bitch for saying that. Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But Johnny and Miguel head home, and Johnny gets invited over to dinner, and this is like, is this the start of a relationship we were talking about earlier? Or even better yet, the start of the relationship I was talking about earlier between Johnny and Yaya? She slipped in pretty smooth there when she was doing that dinner prayer, got his name in there, like even thanking God for Johnny. I was like, amen, that one, I know.
Yeah, Yaya's great, man. But yeah, I'm all down for the Johnny being the stepdad, Miguel.
I mean, it's fitting. It definitely works out, but I don't know. There's always going to be that Yaya influence. You got to watch out for that smooth-ass Yaya.
Yeah, but she's I mean, she's down. Yaya knows she's old. She's trying to get them together. I'm telling you.
Doing it for the daughter. It could be. I mean, Yaya is pretty great. She's always going to think of her, family first. But, Yaya needs love too. Oh, but Johnny's just so raw, saying just because he lived in a nice house doesn't mean nice things were going on inside. Like, he kind of just blurt that one out on the table right out of nowhere. And, dude, one of the greatest lines ever, like, I like these bananas, plantains. In English, we call them bananas. I was on the floor, dude. He's so great. Like, that was the purest Johnny Gold I've had in this entire episode. And Yaya didn't even get offended. She just giggled. Like, I'm telling you, it's Yaya who's still going to hook up with Johnny in the end. I saw that look he gave him.
You remember that line come next season? In a few weeks, we're going to talk about it again. Remember the plantains, bananas.
That makes me so happy because that's literally the greatest line in this episode so far. Like, number one. In English, we call them bananas. I was on the floor, dude. I was crying. That was so awesome. But Sam calls and smoothly tries to suggest that Miguel find another dojo to train, and she tells her dad that she's only talking to no one, just a lab partner, and things are getting kind of fishy with Sam right out of the gate, aren't they?
Well, yeah, that was that whole discussion, right? Of Daniel thinks that all Cobra Kai are bad, so she can't tell him about Miguel, right? And that's Daniel's fault. He doesn't know anything about Miguel.
It is,
and then he should believe Johnny. Remember when Johnny kicks the kid's ass? And then Daniel gets mad at him about it because he's met Kyler. But now he knows Kyler, and he knows that he's a piece of crap, and that Johnny was probably right. Nowhere in this scenario does he say, like, oh, yeah, I kicked the shit out of him because they were messing with Miguel. Like, he doesn't believe. I don't get it. At what point you say, I misjudged him? Right,
but Daniel doesn't really know how bad Kyler was. Because in his mind, he walked in on him, and Sam's like, what? And then Kyler like, it was my grandma's bracelet. I was going to give it to her. And he played like all the poor little innocent kid. And that's pretty much all Daniel knows about it. Because remember, the next morning at breakfast or whatever, a couple days later at breakfast, Sam comes down and he's all, oh, you want to invite Kyler over to the pool? Like, he's still cool with the kid. Like, hey, and she's like, no, I don't think I'm going to be seeing Kyler anymore. And then he gets all happy. He's like, oh, don't get too happy about it. But so as far as he knows, Kyler's still a good kid.
No, he's not that dumb.
I mean, he knows something happened to where Sam doesn't want to be with him anymore, but he doesn't. I don't think he knows the extent of it or just how bad he is.
Yeah, but would you really be all happy with, like, if you thought that a kid was giving your daughter his grandma's bracelet? We know it wasn't that, but Daniel doesn't. Would you be happy that they broke up? I don't know that you'd be happy about that.
Well, he didn't want his daughter with him in the first place. Like he wasn't feeling the kid, something about him maybe, but
See?
he did invite him over. It's like, hey, you can come over, and she's like, no, we're pretty much.
That's just him listening to his wife, like trying not to push his daughter away.
Yeah, that could be too. Absolutely, yeah, I like that. But back at the dinner table, and Johnny hears some words that hit home. You can't let the mistakes of your past determine your future. And it seems Johnny was on a virtual fence, and this is just the push he needed to hear that was going to bring him over. And Johnny heads home and decides it's time to clean up his life, literally. And they break out the cleaning montage. Okay, looking for some Rocky music, weren't you?
Yeah. The best part of that is he like drinks the orange juice, right? And he drinks the orange juice and he's like, he makes the face like, this is pretty good. It's in your refrigerator and it's half drank. You've never drank it before except when you're hammered. Like, I don't get why you would be like, this is pretty good. It's funny, though.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that's true, Jake. I mean, in the essence of things, you really don't want any new dudes or weird dudes near any female family members. Like, until you get to know them or whatever, there's always going to be that on-guard part. That is for sure. That's real life right there. Oh, man. Robbie boards into Daniel's backyard and meets a sunbathing Sam. And you're like, hey, this is going to be something. And, like, did you just think this was going to be a love at first sight thing?
I thought, oh my God, I hate love triangles so much. Please no. That's exactly what I thought when I saw this. I was like, please no. But
at first, I, of course, thought that they were going to replay the love trio like you're talking, and I still think they will, but I kind of think they might do it with a twist. Like, instead of Robbie falling for Sam, what if we find out that Robbie's gay and falls for Miguel? Like, that would be a pretty sick twist, and it would be epic to see Johnny's character deal with that situation. I was like, and it's just like something about the way he interacted. Like, this is a hot girl his own age in a bathing suit. And he was just looking her in the eye. He was like, I mean, he was more like on this friendship vibe. And I don't know. I was like, I thought that would be a crazy twist, dude. Like,
I don't think so. He was staring at her pretty hard. Also, there's the scene, like, this is very reflective of Karate Kid too. He runs into like the bamboo wind chimes. That happens in Karate Kid as well.
Yeah, that's a nice little callback too. But I don't know, just something about that. I was like, oh, that would be such a sick twist if they flipped it like that. Like, that'd be amazing. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some kind of love triangle and bring it back to like the Johnny Daniel Alley situation. But Daniel takes Robbie into the woods to train and tells him that this being at peace, at one with nature, is what Miyagi-Do is all about. And we get into like the training woods montage, and they air punched on some rocks and did kata on the deck, and then air punched on some more rocks, and then did kicks by some trees. And I was just like, I felt like these scenes were supposed to feel more important to me than they did. It just kind of felt a bit unnecessary to me. Like, they just wanted to get some cool like picture shots.
Yep. It was just saying that like Daniel follows the tradition, I think.
Like, he really is at one with nature. It just seemed a little over the top. I mean, I know there's supposed to be cheesy parts, but that whole thing, like, it's supposed to be, oh, they're training in the woods, and look at that, and the aerial views, and now they're on the dock doing it. Now they're on some different rocks doing it. I was like, that was taking me out of it a little bit. I was like, this is getting a little too much.
I'm with you. I was like, what's the point of this scene? Like, this wasn't all necessary. I get the balance. It was just I'm telling you, it's just to introduce the Chekhov's gun. Like, that was it. Maybe. I'm sure that's what the whole point of this thing was. But and to like let you know about balance. Everything's about balance.
Yeah, that was kind of it makes sense, but I don't know. It seemed like a waste of money. Like, that was a big part of the budget. They're probably going out there filming all that, and it just seemed a little too much. But now it's time for Robbie to learn some balance and shed that duffel bag and get up on that tree. And you get up there and we see he falls, gets on there, but I'm sure that's going to work out for him. Over to the movies, and we see Miguel's not the only one taking Johnny's advice. And we're back to the tossing milk duds, and it's an alpha move. And that was priceless, dude. The Hawk, like I said, Hawk is all in on the Johnnyisms.
For real.
I'm telling you, he might be his number one guy by the end of all this.
It's just funny, like Johnny's mentality. Like, girls love it when you're mean to them. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, he's not necessarily right, but he's not wrong. Like, girls don't want someone that's nice to them all the time. That can't like stand up for themselves.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is the truth. And then back into the woods, and hey, that didn't take long at all. Robbie really is a natural, and he seems to have all the kicks down without falling. Time to find Mr. LaRusso. He finds Daniel bouncing on the one hand, Skywalker style, and that would have seemed pretty impressive to a kid just learning the ways of karate. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Like, you would definitely think you were with the right sensei if you walked over and saw him like balancing on one hand, all like, like holy shit, this guy is a guru.
I'd be like, yeah, it's pretty good balance.
Oh, dude, you wouldn't be like, this guy's all about it if you went over and saw him just on one hand doing the do like that?
Yeah, probably an old man like Daniel. I'd be like, dang, that's pretty sweet. I would try to do it. I would try to learn it like real quick. Not real quick, but I would be practicing it in my own room. Like, if that old man can do it, I can do it for sure.
Yeah, you said he's all old and out of shape and stiff, and there he is on one hand just holding it down.
Yeah, with ropes. Holding them up.
Yeah, right. So next we get another Luke Grant cameo, and Johnny gives a little payback in more ways than one. You'll be back. You need my money. I never needed your money. It was just the only thing you had to give. And that seemed to like strike home with Sid, who seemed to be pretty miserable and lonely in his own existence, huh?
Mm-hmm. I mean, how would you say it was worth it? You saw Johnny's mom, like the picture. I was like, dang, like holy moly, she was that old man. Yeah, and I realized, well, that was the '80s. Like, he wasn't that old then. That's 40 years ago.
Exactly, and he was rich, so that never hurts anything. But yeah, that was pretty tight to see kind of Johnny get some closure on that one and see that he's definitely up and running and moving in the right way. And obviously, this is supposed to let us know that his financial troubles must be close to over. I mean, that was a big old wad. He's like, I don't need your money anymore. Take it all. I won't be back. I was like, go, Johnny, go. Even with all the students quitting, he seems to be doing all right in the old dojo world. But back to LaRusso house and and it seems Robbie isn't the only one who's found balance. Sam seems to have found a way to get her mom and grandma on civil terms. How'd she break that one down?
I don't know.
Like, just walk in. They went from like being at each other's throats to just, oh, I couldn't have done it without you. Oh, it's amazing. Like, just all love. And I'm like, what? And Sam's
it is never mentioned. You'll never figure that out. I'm telling you, spoiler all the way up through season 2. That is never mentioned again. Like,
well,
our house did that.
They seem to come full throttle on everything and back around, so I don't know. That'd be kind of crazy. What's up? We got Sir LT Giles in there. What's up, buddy? Good to see you out there. Have you watched the Cobra Kai karate? Oh, getting into it. So it seems Miguel is looking for a little balance of his own, and he tries to make an alpha move, and he shows up to the LaRusso household unannounced and finds out more than he bargained for. And we're like, uh-oh, this is going to get good. He hears voices in the backyard, and when he turns the corner and sees what he thought was his girlfriend sitting next to some other cute boy, it's like, that's not going to play well, is it?
Nope.
Like,
this is what I'm talking about, all these weird misunderstandings. Like, who just goes around to the backyard? Knock on the door. Like, Miguel, it's going to turn out way worse for you if Daniel catches you sneaking around his bushes than if you would have just knocked on the door.
Well, Robbie kind of did the same thing. He knocked on the door and nobody answered. He just walked around the back and ended up getting a karate sensei out of it. I
know, but this is how many times? Like, what kind of world are people doing that? Dude, if someone does that at my house, they're going to find a shotgun in the backside
Well, this is Encino Hills, which I mean, I guess is even more so to maybe be worried about stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of crazy.
See, I don't know about all that West Coast stuff. What's Encino Hills?
I think just the way they talk about it in the show, that it's like the kind of richer, ritzier area. So it's like that's where all the big houses are and stuff. But yeah, it's like, what are you thinking? You do a walking back there unannounced. It's like that's not good. And I like the contrast to like how Robbie kind of came around the corner and saw his dad hugging Miguel when he went to go talk to him, and then seeing Miguel walking around the corner, seeing laughing with Robbie when he went to her, and like just think how much better both their lives would have been if they'd have just followed through with it and announced themselves that they were there.
Yep.
I mean, life would have been totally different. Everybody would have been all hugs and kisses and smiles, but instead we got a good story going on.
Yeah, we don't talk about things.
Exactly. But back at Johnny's place, he decides it's time to write a letter to Robbie, and he's going to let it all air out. And since Robbie won't answer his calls, and Johnny refuses to text or email because that's just so like too high tech for him. I love that. But somehow he's got to do it, and yeah, I just love how like adverse Johnny is to modern technology. Like the way they're leaning into that's amazing.
He's a legend. I don't know how he made it so long in California like that.
But right? That makes no sense, but it's awesome. But speaking of announcing themselves, as he's writing the letter, he hears a loud crash outside, and seems like Louie's done it again. Where does Daniel LaRusso live? And I love how, like, at first Louie was all like, it was all me. I'll take my licks like a man. But when they torched Johnny's car, it's like, oh, yeah, give me the address. And, like, he gave it up quick. Like, yeah. And they're like, you just know the next one's going to start with a bang. Like, that was a great ending on this one.
Yeah, for sure.
So and it was cool to see like Johnny really does know his karate and puts his karate to use. I mean, they had bats and crowbars and 3-on-1, and Johnny, I mean, it's not just kids he can beat up. He took those three men to task.
Yeah, the biker gang. Those are the crazy biker dudes that what's his name was talking about.
Exactly. He's like, and then they go to church. He's like, Sons of Anarchy. I just want to send a little message, not to torch the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, that was funny.
But yeah, that was cool to see how Johnny actually really does have it. Like crowbars, bats, 3-on-1. I ain't scared of you. Let's get it. Maybe it's because he wasn't drunk and been drinking orange juice, but that was nice to see Johnny really does have it. Like, who wins the fight these days? That'll be awesome. I mean, it seems like we're about to find out. Because I'll tell you what, Johnny or Daniel, who still got it? Because, Johnny looks like he's coming in with a force. And was that one of the bikers dude's bikes he just stole? He's like, oh, you're going to put my car? I'm just take your bike. That's mine now. I was like,
like, this is my bike. This is totally my bike.
And just in the middle of the night, like he's going to – and like I said, I saw the first 5 minutes of the next show. It's like it's funny. He leaves in the middle of the night. What do you do? Like drive around the world and then go to Daniel's house? Because it's totally daytime when he gets there.
Yeah.
He left in the middle of the night. How's it like broad daylight when he got there?
Maybe they live that far away from each other.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that was a little faux pas on the movie script.
Yep.
But yeah, this was two pretty epic episodes. I love these two. I mean, this show has got me hook, line, and sinker, and yeah, I'm all in. Like, can't wait to see the next two, and we'll be talking about the finale next week, and I have a feeling that's going to be epic.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, cool. And then, like I said, after that, then we'll just going to fall back down and just do one a week, and then that'll just run us literally right into season 3 when it airs, and I think that'll be perfect.
That works for me.
Yeah, it'll be breaking down instead of the hour. We'll be back down to a half an hour, and just one by one, knock them out, and then, like I said, that will literally run us right into January 8th and the very new season they put out. Now, do we know, are they going to put the new season out on Netflix, or is it going to be another YouTube thing?
I think it's Netflix, right? Netflix took over the rights to it.
Did they? I mean, I know they bought it, but I mean, like on a lot of other stuff, Netflix has like all the previous seasons, but they don't have the latest season. They don't put the brand new season out. So
I think on Netflix, like the thing says new season confirmed.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, like when you just go on the when you just look at it and bring it up so that it pops up. I think it says season 3 confirmed or something.
Oh,
so maybe that means that it'll be on Netflix.
I hope so. I hope they paid for it. Because, I mean, yeah, we all have Netflix. Very few of us have YouTube TV. So, I mean, yeah, it'd be kind of a killer to do that. So, yeah, it's on Netflix. And then, yeah, that'll be amazing. If not, I'll have to figure out a way to get YouTube TV. Because, yeah, I'm all in. Can't be missing out when the new Karate Kid comes out, especially then, because, like I said, going to roll right into it. But yeah, that's
week by week. That's trash. Stupid Netflix. If Netflix starts doing that, I'm canceling Netflix. I know people have all kinds of reasons they want to cancel Netflix. If they start putting out episode to episode of things, I'm canceling. I'm not doing that.
I was like, what are you going up on? I don't know if they're putting them out all at once or week by week. Yeah, Netflix, I don't know if they ever put out anything one by one?
I don't know. Nothing that I've watched.
Jake, I know you watched it on YouTube. When YouTube put it out, did they put it out one by one? Or was it? No, you said you watched it all like right away. So it was binge worthy right out of the gate, right? Yeah, it was the YouTube Red. That's right. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That would be weird. I wouldn't mind because, like I said, I'm all down to go one by one anyway, and it'd be fun and it'd be better because everybody'd be stuck in the same place. Like they wouldn't let everybody binge and be ahead and spoiler alerts and all that. We'd all be guessing together. Oh yeah, but anything else to say on these two? I thought they were amazing, and that was literally we got the best line. I've gotten my favorite line so far. Like in English, we call them bananas. I was the floor with that one, and I think we got our best cliffhanger yet with Johnny whooping Louie's ass and stealing a bike and heading over to whoop Daniel's ass. Like I think that's the best cliffhanger yet.
Yeah, you can. That's a good cliffhanger, but I hate cliffhangers. I love spoilers, binging things, and hate cliffhangers. Remember, I stopped watching The Walking Dead on principle because of their stupid cliffhanger.
Oh, the Giant Tamer did, not on principle, just because of what they did. When they very, very first came out years and years ago, like the first episodes, they did I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like they did 6 episodes, and then they were done. And then I think they came back, and then they were done for a year and didn't do anything, and then came back. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm not putting up with that." She's like, "It was a cool show, but it ain't that cool. I'm not waiting 6 months at a time for my next episode."
I remember shit that happened last episode. So yeah, and then they started doing that all the time. But this ain't a Walking Dead show, and if it was, I wouldn't be on it because I don't know nothing about it.
Yep, I have not. I am proud to say never watched one episode of that. But I have watched 8 episodes of the Cobra Kai, and yeah, I'm all in, dude. Karate has me hook, line, and sinker. Pretty dope.
Maybe I should go as Cobra Kai for Halloween. Give me a Cobra Kai little key.
Dude, if I did it, I'd do something like be that brother man on the committee council and shit. Be like, that's a badass name. Just walking around, last name, just giving them the fist bumps. Oh man, so yeah, that's gonna do it for us. So we're definitely gonna be back next Tuesday talking about episodes 9 and 10, the finale, and then we'll be keeping it on going right after that. Like I said, for season 2, we're gonna be breaking it down, going episode by episode. So everybody that's trying to keep up or just trying to catch back up, it'll be a little easier to do so in season 2. So that's going to do it for us. We're going to be back up and running this Saturday, talking more about our fantasy football stream we just got up and coming, and seeing how everybody's doing in their season so far. But other than that, that's going to do it for us. Anything out the door, Andy, you going to say to the peeps?
Strike first, strike hard, no mercy.